Alright, here we go, the 2022 Stanley Cup Playoff Bracket Challenge. I am going to be making my predictions to see who will win the 2022 Stanley Cup. So let's start at the bottom with the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings. The Kings, first time in the playoffs since 2018. The Oilers, their second straight year in the playoffs. Both these teams do not belong anywhere near a playoff spot. But I think I have to go with the sentimentality, as one of the players on the Kings, Dustin Brown, announced that he was going to retire at the end of the year. So for that, I am picking the Kings. Alright, next up we got the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames. These two met in the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs and the Stars won. I feel this year Calgary will go for revenge over the Stars. I am picking the Calgary Flames. Okay, Minnesota Wild and St. Louis Blues. This one I expect the Blues to win. However, I am a Minnesota Wild fan. I'm a huge Minnesota sports fan, but I'm doing this the day after the Timberwolves got eliminated to the Memphis Grizzlies. Do I want my heart broken again? Yes, I do. I'm going the Wild. Because I am stupid. Okay, Colorado Avalanche and Nashville Predators. This one's a no-brainer. Colorado. Okay, so we're going to have the Avalanche win in 4. The Wild, I'd say, win in, I'm going to say 7. The Flames in 5. And the Kings in 4 because Edmonton sucks. Okay, now we move on to the second round. And we've got the LA Kings and the Calgary Flames. On paper, I think the Flames would easily win this series, but again, I feel like the Kings are going to do this for Dustin Brown, so I'm going to go LA Kings. And then we've got the Colorado Avalanche and the Minnesota Wild. This one is a no-brainer. And before you say Colorado, let me give you some history. Colorado has home ice throughout the entire playoffs. If they play Minnesota, Game 7 would be in Denver. And for Wild fans, we know what happens in Game 7 in Denver. 2003, Andrew Burnett overtime goal over Patrick Waugh and the Colorado Avalanche. 2014, Nino Niederreiter for the Wild in Game 7. So you know what? Minnesota Wild, Game 7 in Denver against Colorado, they're taking it. I can't believe I just put the Wild in the conference finals. Oh my god. Okay. So here we go. The Western Conference Finals. This to go to the Stanley Cup. We've got the Minnesota Wild and the LA Kings. I know as a Minnesota sports fan, the Wild aren't going to go that far because they're Minnesota. But the Kings, I know I put them for sentimentality, but I mean, really, how far can they actually go? And I just want to see one Minnesota team win. Like, as somebody who's had to deal with the pain that the Vikings, Twins, and Timberwolves give us, I want to see the Wild win the Cup. And with a player like Kirill Kaprizov, you have to win the cup. So, out of my stupidity and loyalty, I am going for the Minnesota Wild. And now we go on to the Eastern Conference. The New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Rangers back in the playoffs for the first time since 2020. The Penguins, they haven't won a playoff series since advancing to the second round in 2018. But I will go with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay, next we got the Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins. This one should be easy. Carolina over Boston. Okay, next we've got the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This one's tough. Tampa Bay, the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, against the Toronto Maple Leafs, a team who hasn't won a playoff series since 2004. This one's tough. The Lightning are back-to-back Cup champs, so I feel like they're going to go for a three-peat. And they're playing Toronto, so I'm going for the Lightning. And then we've got the Florida Panthers and the Washington Capitals. This one is a no-brainer. Florida, the best team in the Eastern Conference. They've got Joe Thornton. He needs to win a cup before he retires. I'm going for the Florida Panthers. And I'm going to pick the Panthers in 6, the Lightning in 7 to give Maple Leaf fans PTSD from Boston, Hurricanes in 5, and the Penguins in 6. And now we've got the Carolina Hurricanes and the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't think Carolina's that good, so I'm going to go Pittsburgh. And then we've got Florida and Tampa Bay. Again, I think Tampa Bay is going to run out of gas. I know they're the two-time defending champs, but no team has won a three-peat since the New York Islanders won 4 straight in the 80s. So I'm going for the Florida Panthers. And then the Eastern Conference Finals, we got the Florida Panthers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. This, honestly, on paper would look like an interesting series. And I honestly don't know who would win. I think this would be a 7-game series. And with that, I am going with the Florida Panthers. So here we go, the Stanley Cup Finals. Minnesota Wild against the Florida Panthers. Two interesting teams, the Wild and the Panthers. The Panthers, I've got them in the finals even though they haven't won a playoff series since they last made the finals in 1996. The Wild, I am a Minnesota sports fan, but I, to be honest, don't think they can go that far. I'm just doing this out of bias. But with players like Joe Thornton and Kirill Kaprizov on the other side, you have to win a cup. The Wild have good goaltending and Marc-Andre Fleury. The Florida Panthers have Sergei Bobrovsky, who's not really a good goalie. So, with that, in 7 games, I am picking the Minnesota Wild. And the goals in the series, I would say 17 goals.
7.
So there you go. Your 2022 Stanley Cup champions, the Minnesota Wild.